Hey, this is Sasha. Thanks for joining me in today's video. What I want to share with you today is the two approaches that people take to wealth building, but the second one is the better, smarter, wealthy approach, whereas the first one is what most people do, and this is why a lot of people are broke and why they don't continue to grow and build wealth in their life. So stay tuned. I'm going to share with you these two mindsets and concepts to building wealth in your life. All right, so before we get started on the actual lesson, I do want to remind you to check out our website at MyLittleNestEgg.com. When you go ahead and check this out, there's a lot of freebies that we have available, as well as some great getting started pages and guides. So check those out. You can download some PDFs, worksheets, and even some mini little video courses and series. All right, so let's take a look at these two concepts. The first concept to building wealth that I will share with you, when we look at this, it's called a single idea point. This is the way I like to reference it. Some people, they call it like a scheme. I don't really think of it like a scheme. It's just a single-minded, single-dimensional focus. So it's a single point that a lot of people look at. And the way that this works is when you're looking to build wealth in this way, it's kind of like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to sell this one big thing, and then I'm going to get a big payout, and then my ship will come in. So if you think of the mindset as my ship or my lotto ticket, this is what they're thinking of. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and do this. This is Amazon FBA. And then, hey, I'm going to make a boatload of money from this, and then I will be able to do other things. Or I'm going to go ahead and try this next one thing, and then it's going to get me the money. So this is what a lot of people do. They take this single idea, single dimensional focus to go ahead and build wealth in their life. This is how they attempt to become rich and wealthy. But that's not necessarily the way that wealth building works. And it's not the way that the wealthy think about it. When you look at very successful and very wealthy people, or even people that look at managing their risk, they look at things in a multi-dimensional way. So when you look at it like this, it's not a single focus. It's not a point A going here, point B, and this is the result of money. Instead, what they look at is they look at stacking things and building kind of their foundation, or building their business. They're building their assets. This is what they're doing. And in the end, you have a good structure to what you're doing. If you think about this in the sense of building a business, so let's just look at a business concept. These pillars and these bricks that we're building could be things like education. They could be things like connections with other people that now build and grow your business. They could be things on investing in different assets, whether they are tangible or not tangible, like let's say real estate, or maybe something that's intangible, like you're investing in employees, again, maybe team or people. So they could be something like that. So all of a sudden you start going and building these asset classes, if that's what grows things, and all these things, eventually this results in money because you're doing the right things. You're creating value to move forward. If you're thinking about this in a personal financial space, you know, how do you think about this? Hey, let me worry about my finances on a personal level, not just the business. Well, think about it. You would go ahead and build your education on understanding how finances work. You would go ahead and make connections to the right tax people, because now they can give you the right direction. If you're trying to do taxes on your own, you may not be able to optimize it. Maybe you know what you're doing, but the thing is as your income grows and as you're trying to maximize what you get to keep, because that's the whole point of taxes, now you might need to go ahead and hire some experts that do the right things. If you're looking at investments, again, personal investments in people, whether it's tax accountants and that kind of thing, or investments in yourself, investments in other asset classes, in physical investments. All of a sudden, this starts to build things in your life that build and create wealth for the future. This is a multi-dimensional approach. Whereas, you know, people that are just looking for a single idea point, my ship will come in, they're just thinking about this next thing. And what you typically will notice and realize is these people are usually hoppers. Like what they'll do is they'll hop to this thing, then they'll go ahead, they'll hop to the next thing, and then they'll hop to that thing. So if you would have seen that they go ahead and hop from one thing to the next, and then this thing is eliminated, then that thing's eliminated, that thing, and they just keep hopping, that usually is the problem. They're not building things. Now, I'm not saying you can't do 2 to 3 or 4 or 5 different things. I'm just saying what usually you'll see is the pattern of people is hopping from one thing to the next. In fact, you might say, hey, well, what about you, Sasha? What about you? You have a few things, because I do run multiple businesses. So I have my Traders Fly business. We do also video editing with my company and my team on another side. And then we also have this business. We have businesses where we focus on with YouTubers. So there's a lot of things that split up. But the thing is that didn't happen overnight, because what happens here is when you're looking at a single point and idea focus, you're looking at a single overnight event in a way. It could be just a couple months, and then you move on, you try to get your money, and you move on to the next thing. In our case, what we're looking to do is we're building this asset class. The employees that we have for this channel is the same that we have for the Backstage Income, is the same that we use to go ahead and build assets and build value to customers building their YouTube channels. So all of that works together. It's synergy. It's building this foundation. And this is what we've done is we've built this foundation at different parts to go ahead and continue to build it. And we're just stacking different layers of businesses for every single employee and teammate that we have to continue to grow that aspect of it. So that way they keep making consistent income and continue to grow as well. But if you're looking for this idea focus and you're hopping and you're hopping and you're hopping, you're not really building anything, you're just moving forward this way rather than this way vertically, that's where things become a little bit more of a problem. So be very careful as you do this in the future. Think of growing your assets, think of growing your foundation and building out your structure, rather than, hopping from one thing, thinking about my next idea, thinking about when my ship comes in, because that's not the approach where wealth is built. It's not the approach that's sustainable in the long run. So be very careful as you move forward. All right, so there you go. I hope you found this video helpful and insightful. Feel free to download some of those freebies I mentioned by clicking the link right over here and check out some of the new ones that we've probably updated since the last time you checked. And subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're brand new. All right, thanks again. And remember to do what you love, contribute to others, but most importantly, live life abundantly. I'll see you in the next video.